Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm talking to ZEP holders. ZEP holders, one is Zimbabwe exemption permit. I'm encouraging you to apply. I'm still encouraging you to apply for visas, to move to the mainstream visa at whatever level you are. Please, if you cannot apply to the mainstream visa, consider a waiver. Consider a waiver if you can not apply from to the mainstream visa. Vane vana vechikoro vasati vapedza chikoro ende vavari kuda kuti vapedzere chikoro vari muSouth Africa, and they don't have the required visas for that, whether to work, to be exempted from anything, so that they can be able to apply for the visa to accompany their children here, and also to apply for exemptions, maybe of bank statements for the visa for the children. Please, let's consider having a discussion about this as to how I can be able to assist you to be able to apply for these exemptions that can be necessary for the children to continue their education in South Africa. You heard the minister speaking when he was giving a briefing that the Children's Act is still there, children are still protected, the Schools Act is still there, the Constitution is still there. The right to basic education is a fundamental human right that is unqualified. Whether you've got a visa or you don't have a visa, as a child, you need to have access to education. We know so many challenges that are going to be there. There are children who were educated for the past 10 years, for the past 7 years in South Africa. They don't know any local language in Zimbabwe, except of course English, and wherever they are supposed to go in school, whether they are supposed to go in school in the urban or rural areas, they might fail to integrate because of linguistic issues. We know very well that in Zimbabwe we are taught using our own main language, which is Shona or Ndebele, depending on where you are, or any other language in Zimbabwe. And these languages, they are exposed to children even when they are being taught sciences, whether they are being taught mathematics, whatever it is. Languages are very important and integral part of learning, especially the mother language. So for a child to go there and they cannot integrate, they don't know the mother language Shona, they cannot even read it, they cannot even write it, and then they're supposed to integrate and then to be able to learn, it can be a problem. So because of that, please consider to apply for this kind of waivers. If you don't have the bank statements, because you are not currently in a position to have a bank statement because you have a job, but your job doesn't allow you to, it doesn't give you a pay slip, doesn't have a bank statement. There are so many domestic workers, there are so many people who use garden boys, there are so many people, for any other reason, they might have been legal here, but they don't have a job and they can't issue a bank, they can't even provide proof of employment, maybe because their employers don't want. Please consider to apply for a waiver of these requirements so that you can be able to move to the mainstream visa regime. Even without these requirements, there is nothing to lose, there is everything to gain in considering to apply for these waivers. We need to think broad and strategically, and to also motivate to the minister, you see, because you need to have a visa to accompany your child, to be able, whether it should be an extended visa, whatever it is, or a special visa, whatever it is, as long as it's in the mainstream visa regime, then we should be able to find a way to motivate for some of the requirements for you to be exempted from some form of the requirements that are needed for you to comply with a specific visa. We know that many visas, they need job offers, but we know that there are also exceptional circumstances where it should be possible for the minister to make an exemption for you, for the purposes of the child being educated in South Africa. So these are arguments that we will need to make because it's necessary, and it's on humanitarian grounds that this needs to happen, because in essence, children are going to be affected, and the rights of children, they surpass everything. The best interest of the children should be the ones that will be of due consideration in all these issues and matters, including immigration matters as well. So thank you very much.